that was Can't Win Me Over by the wonderful Pip Mondi. What a treat.
Si resides en el Distrito Federal o en su área metropolitana, comunícate a Locatel 658-1111 o a Telcube.
A family business in rural Maine for over 75 years. That sweet, umami taste of prawn cocktail schnapps.
1 de diciembre.
Padrón electoral 1900.
Bunyan Breweries, where all your dreams.
1000 suscripciones por año.
Well, you're back with Coyote Mike here, and a little bit of local news now. Inside sources telling me that as it nears its 4th week, the search for the Miller family is likely about to be called off. A sorry tale. Always a darn shame, especially when children are involved. But my old ma raised me on Aesop's fables. My favorite was always The Man and the Serpent. Go on, give it a read if you haven't already. Tells you, tells you all you need to know. But if there's a lesson to be learned here from this sad story, I suppose it's this. Don't go tempting fate. Don't go trusting what you don't know. And the sands around here, they shift. Change by night, sometimes so much they'd be unrecognizable. And that's why the scorpions and the mantis and the rattlers around here, they stay in their holes, stay there with their children, safe in the dark. And they don't make an enemy of the land, nor those people what lives in it. There's some out-of-town folks out there who would do well to follow that example. Anyway, that's that for now. Got another beautiful track coming up next, and this one goes out to the Miller family. Rest in peace.
The Apocalypse Players present Highway of Blood, a Call of Cthulhu scenario by Alex Guillotte, Ian Christiansen, and Davae Breon Jaxson. With Dan Wheeler as Quincy J. Lafitte, Dominic Allen as Edward Ed Mooney, Joseph Chance as Beverley Jack Carstairs, and Danann McAleer as the Keeper of Arcane Law. This is based on a true story. Part 6. Trail of Destruction.
It takes a moment for your eyesight to adjust, from the bright heat into what is essentially darkness, although it's sort of glowing through from the white sheets. And what you see on the floor seems to be a cross between, how to describe it, sort of somewhere between a tumour and a hairball. And it's writhing on the floor. And you can see...
It's been spat up, right?
Bits of... It's bigger than that.
Oh.
It's the size of a person.
Oh.
And it has, you can see bits of white cloth sort of enfolding in its folds and being recapitulated. And, it is making this sound, this sort of guttural sound of pain, this...
I'm going to step backwards away from this and then roll sanity. I assume.
That would be
but
great.
Obviously, I may not even get as far as my step back.
Well,
cool.
I'll say you get to step back and you definitely get to roll sanity.
It's one of those shots, isn't it, where the shot is on my left hand is holding the cigarettes down by my thigh, the lit cigarette.
Yeah.
And you're kind of doing one of those vertiginous shots up to the tent as the black hole closes.
And you don't even feel the cigarette end burning into the eye until you suddenly sort of...
And then I flick it down into the dry grass and I hear jazz drums. Jazz drum. No, I don't. I don't do that. It's a failed sanity roll on the 71 on my 43 sanity.
Right. Well, it was a pretty horrific sight, so could you roll me a D6?
On the D6 again. Okay, so this is it, guys. If I roll a 6, that is my 5th. And I'm not mythos hardened, so I'm not going to be able to reduce this. Don't talk it up, Chance. Don't talk it up. I've lost 5. That is just as bad.
I mean, it is a horrifying sight, and it is this shape, this amalgamous shape of just molten flesh and white hair, and it's writhing in front of you, and it's so brief because you then duck your head back out of the tent and suddenly you're in the blazing sunlight again, and it was like this split-second instant vision.
While you get the chart ready, I'll do the intelligence roll.
Yeah,
I was going to say that's about. I get an intelligence
that's
roll,
about.
Right?
You do.
So if I fail this, we're okay. I'm okay, but I've obviously still lost 5, and an involuntary action. I would have thought. So the last one I passed with a 75 intelligence.
Yeah,
not looking good.
92. Come on, failed dice.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Everything else has been high.
You don't understand.
I cannot compute. Does not translate. It was. It must be someone's rolled off. They're ill. They've rolled off in the heat, and they've got wrapped up in their sheets. And they're a big person. They're fat. I don't like to, and that's why I'm behaving the way I'm behaving. Which is I am. Do you have an involuntary action for me, or shall I come up with something?
Well, I've just pulled up the old graph, and what came up was seek help.
Yeah, nice.
From someone, and I'll let you decide who that might be.
Because, of course, if someone's having a seizure, they've got wrapped up in their own bedclothes, they're dying, and so I think I start running and go, Quincy, Edward, Ed, Quincy, Mr. Blackwood. I'm just running, and my cowboy hat flies off, and I do throw the cigarette now down into the dry grass, and jazz drums.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not jazz drums. Maybe it's it's 70s jazz drums.
I would say that you're about maybe at a run. You're about 15-20 seconds away from where they are, so it's not far. So if you immediately start shouting, I'd say that the other two of you, just as your little mechanism beeps and shows, as you glance at it, a far too high radiation warning on the water. You hear just outside the tent this shouting of, well, someone's had a stroke. They've well, I'll let you.
Well, no, maybe I like it. No, that's not. Maybe it's.
That's what you hear, basically.
And they're stuck. They're stuck in their own bedclothes. It's a big guy. He's got a lot of hair. I think he's dying. I think he's choking to death. I think he spat something. I think he's spitting out hair walls and like. That's.
Well, if he's been drinking the water, he's probably got radiation poisoning.
We gotta help him.
I was gonna say, I'm not surprised he's sick if he's gone anywhere near this. We need to get out of here. We need to get out of here now.
Where's the doc?
People need to be evacuated. We need to set up a field hospital.
Brenner, where's the...
Oh, I'm here. I'm right here. 2 seconds. And he comes in from the same direction you did. And he says, Jacob's out of sorts at the moment. But the river...
There's a man dying in one of your tents. There's a man dying. He's all wrapped up in I think he's choking to death. Come with me quickly. And I...
Oh.
This water is off the scale. You must not drink the water. We need to get a team in here now, a sterilization team. We need to evacuate everyone from this town. Set up a field hospital just outside. Keep a quarantine barrier. You must not mix with any of the neighboring villages. But we need to.
This man's about to die.
Water. Find you alternative water.
And then I walk up to him and go, what happened to the millers?
Everybody's about to fucking die if they go near this water.
Where are the millers?
What's that, sir?
You said I could disappear here. I could come here.
Who the fuck are the millers?
You said I could come here, I could disappear, just like Blackwood. Well, what happened to the millers? They disappeared. And their license plates hanging up in your bar.
Well, that's something to ask the Carlos and Robert about. I have no idea. I don't... You may be surprised to hear that the local doctor doesn't dictate the decor of local establishments, but either way, you can ask the Reverend about it first.
So you don't know nothing about the millers going missing? Is that what you're saying?
Son of a bitch, this man's gonna die. Is no one gonna help me?
I'd love to do a psychology roll on him if I can.
I'll come with you, Jack.
Yeah, so I think all three of you probably want to do slightly different things in this mad moment. So,
absolutely mad.
Firstly,
well, Miller's definitely still Miller's still because it was so sort of.
Yeah.
And I stopped, and it was all suspended, and it suspended you as well, right, Quincy. So then there was this sort of weird moment, and Doc's doing nothing. So now I'm just like going, he's gonna fucking die.
Yeah. So, Dom, let's start with you.
Like a Tarantino film.
You're doing a psychology roll.
Yeah. Ooh, that's shit. That's a 30 on my 20. I got loads of luck though. 10 luck.
To do what? Sorry, to
pass.
Oh, to see if he's.
I wouldn't do it, man. 10's too rich. We don't trust him anyway. I think he's full of shit.
Yeah. I'll leave it. I'll just be like,
hey, you're cool. I mean, you're cool.
No, I think you're right. We might need that luck. By the sounds of things.
I feel like we might.
You might need to land ass first on someone.
Yeah. I might need to avoid inhaling for a bit. So
it might be too late.
I turn around and go, all right, fine. And then I turn and I start following Carstairs. Where's this fat man?
I don't know.
And Carstairs, what are you doing?
This okay. Thank God. It's like I think he might be burned too. I think he might be burned. He's really fat. I think he's got no clothes on, but he's all wrapped up in his. And I'm slowing down as I'm talking. And I'm going. He's all wrapped up in his sheets. It doesn't make sense. It's like the sheets are almost inside him. It's like he's burnt into the sheets, or maybe he's cheese or.
All right. You've clearly seen something quite disturbing.
My hat. Where's my hat?
We should come and take a look.
Christ, this heat. Where's my hat? And I look around. And I see the hat sort of blowing. Just a little bit. Well, no, there's no breeze, right? It's just sort of...
It's rolling like tumbleweed, your hat.
Yeah.
Like a hovering sombrero.
A rattlesnake goes past wearing it.
It was just by the John. It's just...
Hello!
By that toilet.
So, Quincy and Edward, at that moment, as you might join in, could you both do me a power roll as well?
Oh, shit. I've just remembered how bad my power and sanity are.
Your sanity is rotten, which explains why you're acting like such a maniac. My power's not great. Oh well, that's good. That's I mean, I can make that a hard success if that was useful with 1 point of luck, but it's regular success.
A regular's probably fine. You both feel a wave of nausea as well, similar to what Jack felt earlier. Quincy, you sort of swallow down this. You feel this bile rising. And you sort of swallow it down. You know, it could be psychosomatic. I mean, you're suddenly so aware of how close the proximity's been to this radioactive material, which is worrying anyway. Ed, you failed, so I'm afraid you vomit on the spot. You just sort of like, you feel this gorge rise in you and you just onto the floor.
So the scene is, I've gone... Where are the millers? Their license plate is the thing, and then I turn around and go, all right, Jack.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Well, so, I mean, how I interpret this, my nausea may be psychosomatic, but I'm pretty fucking sure that he has vomited because of the radiation.
Yeah.
I'm also beginning to suspect that Jack
It is
hallucination.
I see. Yeah.
Radiation.
Yeah.
Good. And also,
Yeah. It doesn't
I'm
sound
confused, and I've stopped basically. If that's fair with you, Chef, keeper of the Texas law.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm still outside the tent, I think, aren't I?
You can be, certainly.
Well, it's just like I've got a bit of it open, and I'm looking at this hat, sort of rolling slightly.
And Doc Brenner sort of says, "Oh, no, that won't do at all. That won't do at all. In the house of the Lord, the tent of the Lord." I'm joking. Come here to me, sir. Come here to me, son. And he puts his arm around you, Ed. And he says, "You want something to get that filth out of you. You've ingested something. Can't be right. You got one of those beers?" He sort of asks one of you two for, like, one of the beers off the tray.
Sure.
I just sort of point at the tray.
And I say, sure, and I walk over.
Yeah.
Towards the equipment and the trays.
Pass us one of those. You need to, like, get this down your neck. It'll make you purge the rest of it.
I go to the tray, I walk past the tray, I pick up the shotgun, and I turn, and I point it at him, and I say, "What the hell is going on here?"
What do you mean?
Step away from my friend. Step away from Ed. Step away now. Sir, step away.
Okay.
What the hell is going on?
Okay, and he does. Well, as far as I can tell, 3 violent son bitches have come into town and started kicking up trouble, and I'm just trying to hold the peace.
You see this here? That's where a spanner got thrown into my head. I say, pointing to the wound. I didn't do nothing.
You do that to yourself?
No, I did not, and you know damn well I didn't.
Okay. I trust you.
Quincy, step away.
You step away from me if you don't want healing. You go on, Edward.
All right.
I frantically scoop up the equipment with the test readings and stuff and start taking it to the car and bundling it into the car.
At that point, as he sees you turn to do that, and as Ed, you sort of stagger away slightly, and Jack's sort of saying, "Get away from him," he sort of he sighs and goes, "Well, there ain't no helping some people." And he just turns his back on you, even though you have the shotgun on him, and just slowly walks towards his car.
You right there, Carstairs? You got a touch of the old Mooney madness there.
What are you talking about? None of this is right. There's somebody dying in that tent over there, and he doesn't even lift a finger. He's a fucking goddamn doctor. None of this is right.
Jack, show me. Take us to this man. We'll take a look.
You got those results, right? You got those results. We got what we came for.
Anything to do with this?
I say we head straight back to that goddamn gas station, take what we want, and get the hell out of here.
I think we have a look around here, see if there's any gas canisters lying around here.
Good thinking.
If there
all
ain't,
right.
then you're damn right. We'll go back to that gas station, and we take gas even if we have to use a shotgun to get it. We got to get out of here. I'm now more worried about this radiation than I'm about anything else. I'm not scared. I ain't scared by some kid throwing spanners, some creepy doctor, but this level of radiation, we are all, excuse my fucking French, but we are all absolutely cunted if we stay in this town.
As you're saying that, I'll let you respond, obviously, Jack, but you hear what sounds like Morse code on the horn of the car, but the doctor's got into his car, and you just hear this. It's just like this constant stream of like horn blowing, and you hear the engine start up as well.
That's an SMS.
It's like MSN Messenger.
I'm open-mouthed in shock from Quincy J. Lafitte's use of language, and even the gun just slips down a little.
It's the most shocking.
I look at him and I sort of shake it off. I shake it off, and I go, "No, you're quite right. I don't know if that man's even still alive. That person, that." And you can see that he sort of drifts away and his eyes go down. And you've seen him do this sometimes when he's been working, where he's going to go into one of his reveries where nothing happens and just stands there.
I grab him and give his shoulders a little shake, and I say, "Jack, pull yourself together. Show me to this man, and at least we can rule out. We can." I'm thinking mainly. There's a bit of me still thinks she may have had a bit of a hallucination, and if you can see it again.
And now I'm thinking it may be as well. It's like, shit. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm scared. I'm scared, and I just look at the two of you, back from one to the other.
Yeah, Jack, give me the shotgun.
Sure. I reach over and I hand it to you. You know how to use that, right?
Oh, I know how to use a shotgun, man.
Sorry, I'm not so good with pistols, you know.
I'm pretty good.
I'm pretty good with both.
I'd say just over half the time I get my man. Did you lock the car, Quincy? Did you lock the car? We can't risk them damaging our evidence.
No, I didn't. And I've still got the keys, and I passed the keys to you as well.
I take the keys and I go and secure the car.
Okay, so you got to run down the little alleyway between the chairs towards the other side of the tent.
Yeah.
And you lock the...
Is it an enclosed...
Yeah, as in it's sort of like a marquee, as it were. You're at the stage end. You parked you parked in the tent at the back end.
But it's not literally
like,
a tunnel.
Maybe...
It's not like this...
No, it's like maybe 10 rows
just checking.
Chairs.
Let's go. Yeah, run back down that tunnel into the other half of a thing where we can't see you.
Yeah, into the back rooms, into the liminal space.
I'm now imagining it's like a sort of a literary festival.
Yeah, I got something very
it's
similar.
very much like that. It's like something you'd see at Latitude Festival.
Darling, now we understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we understand the geography at last. I was going to say campaign tent.
Now it's in
seemed to
context.
fit. Now I'm
Finally, I've got a vision.
Mark, what's his face is about to
Finally, I've got it. Yeah.
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 Ravenhill.
I was thinking it was probably Tim McInerney going to read some First World War poets.
Yeah.
Showstoppers are up at 4.
Mark Steele's going to do a bit.
Yeah.
Showstoppers are up at 4.
Mark Steele is there, by the way.
Just saying the cool.
The trouble with these old uranium towns is they're full of nutcases. You go into these old uranium towns, it's full of people who believe in all kinds of things. They say it's religion, but you talk to them for 5 minutes, you know they're drinking the water and they're not right in the head.
Grace Petrie's on next, and she's going to sing a song about the uranium's all the fault of the patriarchy.
Oh, fantastic. Right. I wish that were the case. Unfortunately, there's no one there.
The Hay on Y scenario is going to go really well, guys. That's what we know now.
Yeah. The Tall Puddle Martyrs Festival scenario is going to be out of this world.
The Hay on Y...
Writing yourself.
There'll be one listener who's really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It's at the Hay on Y Festival.
Yeah, perfect. Well, it's just down the road,
The Revelations of Hay on Y. Yeah.
I step outside the tent, put the shotgun in my mouth, and I pull the trigger. No.
Sure. I assumed as much.
One day that will be the right move.
Yeah.
But the doctor has gone back to his car, and you've heard this like this sort
nearly
of
followed him,
blowing on the horn.
Fucking quack.
In the meantime, was it Ed has run back to the...
I've locked the car.
Your car?
Ed's locking the car while we're...
Unlocked it, yeah.
So the evidence is safe.
Yeah.
And then Jack is showing me, I think, towards where he saw whatever he saw.
Right, so let's say that's happening at the same time, like, Ed, you're sort of scampering back from the back end of the tent as... are you going with Jack, Quincy?
Yeah, I think that was the plan.
I think I'm going straight with Jack, leaving him.
And he does have the shotgun, so...
And my intention is to go out the back where I saw Blackwood go, to try and find Blackwood and see what the fuck's going on back there.
Yeah. So, what happens as you're scampering down the middle aisle, Ed? Quincy, you follow Jack, and you sort of go out that back flap of the tents.
Can I grab my hat? Is that all right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would, because as soon as I'm out leave the tent,
like,
you're so aware of like instant skin cancer sort of.
I know it's selfish, but I've got to do it, I think.
No, it's got to be done. It's the right thing to do, because also you could just, short-term thing, you could just pass out.
Yeah, exactly.
You run past another tent or two that seem to be the same as the tent you just came from, sort of same size and structure, and you're heading where to the John and the smaller tent at the sort of the head of all these, and as you get there, a figure emerges from that last tent next to the John, and it's someone in very clean white robes, but you've not seen them before. They have a very
white robes.
Yeah, sort of like it's like a suit but baggier. It's like trails slightly.
Is that what Jacob was wearing, or did he have a more classic sort of like
It's basically the same thing, but for some reason on this person, your immediate thought is it looks more like robes. Weirdly,
fine.
But this person also has like long white hair, like grey white hair, and a very lined face, like a sort of a Toby jug that's been repaired more than it should have been. You know, like the crags are very distinct, and very pale blue, almost grey eyes. They look. There's something about them that you just instantly, as soon as you see them, you feel a sort of element of disgust. And maybe if you're a more liberal-minded character, you sort of tick yourself off for that. But I don't know. But either way, they sort of emerge from this tent, and as soon as they see you, they say, "Brothers, here we are. Welcome to our congregation."
I heard a man in distress in there.
Yes, Jacob was very distressed.
I looked in. He looked ill, terribly ill.
He was terribly ill. I've had him seen to. He's been sent off to rest. But for the time being, we should talk about your visit here yourselves.
He's approaching you the whole time he says this with his arms out.
Sent off to rest? I look around, kind of look quite like a child. Sent off where?
Yeah.
Back to the town.
That can't be right. We heard nothing. It was just moments ago.
Well, you don't know this place like I do. Welcome, anyway. Welcome.
And he's about 10 feet away from you now.
Is he as big and strong as his voice sounds?
Yeah. He looks like an ox with a sort of mane of white hair.
Shit.
Does he look old enough to have white hair, or is the hair incongruous with his...
Do you know what he does? But it's like... It's a bit like Iggy Pop, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
It's like... It looks natural but unnatural at the same time. If that makes sense.
Now in my head it just is Iggy Pop.
It's like a butch.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
that's not fair.
go for Iggy Pop if Iggy Pop had been benching for days, you know. And he says, and I think maybe at this point it's fair to say that Ed's catching up with you behind.
If it's the same direction.
That's where you were going.
It was the same direction.
Yeah.
Fine.
And he says,
so you're looking for Jacob. Jacob's going to be out of business for a while, but we can help you get on your feet here. What do you need?
All right, but my friend here saw someone else who might have been in some distress.
Oh, is that right? Well, point me in the direction and I shall be happy to help.
There, the tent there, just behind you, this one that you've just come from, right?
Oh, this tent. And he turns back to the tent and chuckles slightly and then goes back and opens the door and says,
well, feel free to look inside.
I confidently go past, slightly irritated, like, this man might be dying, how dare you? Classic.
Yeah,
classic,
absolutely.
2 foot first into the complete lack of a person there, presumably.
Yeah, there's no one there.
I begin a frantic search.
Well, help yourself. And your friends here?
I don't understand. Quincy, it was right here. It was like he'd rolled off it was like the bedding, and I start pulling at the bedding, and is there any bedding or I don't know, is there anything in there? Is there?
It's basically a smaller version of the other tents. There's a raised platform at the end, there's a chest, there's like maybe 8 chairs facing the far end, but there's no bedding or anything.
So I'd start moving chairs as if magically there's going to be something hidden underneath them. Like looking at them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's maybe you got a different tent there.
I whip round. I go, it's not the different tent. It's the right fucking goddamn tent. What the hell is going on? And I throw one of the chairs at the wall. What the hell is going on here?
All right, Jack. Calm yourself.
Calm yourself. Who the hell are you people? And I point at brother. Rock and roll.
Brother rock and roll. The dude.
Brother Pop.
He says,
who are we? We might ask you the same thing. Who are you to come into our town and cause such ruckus? Shoot up the bar.
Hang on a minute. I've been misrepresented. I didn't shoot up the bar. I threatened to shoot my friend in the bar.
Well, good friend you must be.
I don't need your moral judgment, sir. I don't know you from Adam.
No, you don't.
I see. I've made a mistake. I'm terribly sorry, Quincy. Sir, I'm terribly sorry. I've got some money here. I can, if any damages have been done, and I fish around for my wallet. I can give you some money for anyway, and then I put my wallet back in my pocket. We'll be on our way. Thank you.
As you're sort of panicking in that moment, could you all do me a listen roll?
Yes, and as I'm doing that, I turn to Mooney and I say, almost sotto voce, I say,
I thought I told you to look for gas.
I was coming to look for gas, and then we bumped into Iggy Pop here.
Pop, what are you doing here?
I'm looking for Blackwood to ask him where the gas is.
Why did you come this way?
Because I thought he was this way.
Because I got a lust for a laugh.
I have passed my listen roll.
I failed.
Right.
I stand erect like a pheasant in a field. All 6'2" of me.
Yeah.
Broad shoulders, linebacker, former college footballer. Glistening sweat on my deliciously well-shaped pectorals. My cheesecloth shirt is sticking to me. I couldn't look more manly and perfect in that moment.
I need to go and have a wank.
And I look in exactly the opposite direction to Quincy J. Lafitte. Exactly the opposite direction. And then I look at the keeper and I say, 99 on a 30. I've got it. Yeah. I've heard it.
Okey-dokey. Wow.
He's definitely heard something.
So, Quincy I'll deal with first, just before we take a break.
Yeah, fair enough.
Quincy, you hear not only the idling of engines sort of getting closer, but you also hear, like, multiple engines, it seems like. You also hear whistling and things like weird little sort of tunes being whistled between people. Jack, that was a fumble on your listen roll, right? Yeah. So you hear from the other direction, from out the other side of the tent, you hear a whispered call. You hear a woman's voice. It sounds like it. For a moment, you think it might be your mother's, and then you think it might be an ex-girlfriend. And you can't quite place it. It feels familiar, but you can't quite place where it's coming from. And she just says,
"The mines. Find me in the mines. Don't trust the others. Find me in the mines."
And I think I just say, under my breath, I say, "Mum? Genevieve? Is that you?" I'm now very concerned that if Jacob Blackwood can appear from nowhere, maybe other people can appear from nowhere. But I'm not going to say anything about that. But I think I do take a step back, and I look at the other two, and I can see that Quincy's looking off. Can we start to hear the trucks now as well?
Yeah. Let's say you can hear a rumbling in the distance, certainly, which you're not quite sure exactly what it is, but
I guess we should be going then.
Yeah, well, like I say, we've obviously caused you some grief, and probably best we just get out of your head.
That's right.
Oh, there's been no grief caused.
Well,
no grief whatsoever.
Well, you keep saying we're causing a ruckus. Well, we don't want to do that.
Well, no, that's true, but a ruckus ain't the end of the world. You need supplies. What do you need? Gasoline? You need water?
We're all right for water.
We just need some gasoline.
You do, yeah, to be fair, just so you all remember, I'm sure you do, but you do have 2-gallon bottles of water back in your car.
Yeah.
That Jack stole from the things, but he says...
if we can trust it, but...
Well, quite. But he says, gasoline, then?
That'd be helpful. And maybe you're...
Well, I mean, I'm very aware that we're in a stolen car. So the sooner we can get out without anyone realizing we're in a stolen car, the better.
Yeah. Well, he says, "Well, I can help you there," and he literally he just moves to the back of the little raised area, and you see him reach underneath and pull out a sort of clanking thing, and he's got a jerry can, and he says, "A couple more under there. We can fill you up. Don't you worry about that. You want to help me with these?"
Sure thing. I told you, I told you I'd find gasoline.
Thanks. That
prospect to see, prospect.
Allow us to pay you for these and for your trouble. And I start going through my wallet to see how much I can.
Gasoline in the 70s. I mean, what's it going to be? A couple of dollars.
Don't you worry about money now.
Texas.
We ain't vulgar down in these parts. We don't have to talk about money right now. He says, "Just help me carry it to your car, and we'll get you on the road." And here.
Why don't I bring the car here?
Yeah, that's a mighty fine idea. Why don't you do that?
I look at Ed Mooney meaningfully.
I toss you the keys.
And I dash.
Yeah.
Even in this heat, I dash back up to the main tent.
So as you dash, do you want to do me a spot hidden roll?
Yeah, I'd love to. It's a massive spot hidden of 35, guys.
Hey.
Hold on to your hats. I am consistently rolling very high, 86.
Wow. Okay, so...
Heat haze out there.
You don't see anything. Because of the heat haze, in fact, yeah, exactly. But you do get the same feeling you did, I don't know if you remember, but just after you'd got to the bridge.
Oh, I saw something passing between two buildings, right?
Well, you did, but before that, all three of you failed a spot hidden on some figures, some shadows idling out in the desert. And you get that same feeling again. You glance off to your left towards the town, and it's like the darkness of the town in that haze seems closer, and you can hear this buzzing sound, this sort of humming sound, and you sort of have to shake it out of your head, and you're quite focused on where you're going, but you get a similar sense of sort of dread in the pit of your stomach as you did just after you found the collapsed bridge.
I hear this slightly sort of roguish, almost like a Northern Irish voice, but kind of softened into a sort of almost Scottish brogue, saying, "Why don't you push the roll?"
James Nesbitt.
I was going for Mike and Percival Maxwell. I was like, "Why don't you push the roll?" But I'm not going to, because I'm going to drive back this way, so I'll have a look then. It's much more dangerous to push a roll in a car. Right?
Good shout. So you get to the car. You get to the car fine, and you unlock it fine, and no one seems to have tampered with it. So
I'll just drive as quickly as I can back to them
through the tent.
So you do a little loop.
I was tempted, but
and you drive up to the outskirts of the tent, and the other two, while that's happening, I'd say it only takes like a minute and a half or something. So you're not in a...
I want to say, we really appreciate your hospitality and your gentlemanly ways. I didn't catch your name. I'm Ed Mooney.
Reverend Osteen.
Ah, you're the man Blackwood was talking about. Yes, of course, that makes a lot of sense. Listen, the gasoline's a great help to us, and the only other problem is, I got myself all turned around on the way here. My mind ain't what it used to be, you know, especially in the heat. Can you advise?
I understand.
Advise on the best route out?
Oh, there's only one route that I would take.
Oh, really?
The Red Road.
The Red Road, you say? And
that's right.
Would that be the way we came in?
Oh, no. I don't know if you saw, but there was a mighty bit of damage done by the storm that passed through.
Oh, well, shit.
Today. The bridge itself is down.
Oh.
Now, unless you fancy yourself getting all the way to Big Bend National Park, I would say Red Road is your only route out of here.
Oh, I see. Well, would you mind pointing out on when the car gets here, we'll get the old A to Z out.
Of course,
you can point it out.
I'll be happy to.
You're a gentleman.
So, tell me, how did you know Jacob?
Oh, well, he was an old mentor of mine, actually, way back when I was just
Is that right?
green fellow with dreams of striking it big in a big old wide west. I was born a bit too late, I think. I should have been an old-fashioned prospector. I should have been, born back in the heyday of the frontier. But as it is...
Born early enough to pay for a ringtone, but late enough to never know what TikTok was about.
Exactly.
Yeah. Makes about as much sense.
My only hope now is to stick around for another 40 years and get to play Red Dead Redemption on the PS2.
Well, we can but pray. Yeah, I mean, feel free to do me a spot hidden on this guy as well, or like a psychology, or, anything you want. I mean, you've not encountered him before, so I'm happy for anyone present as you're talking. That'd be Quincy and Edward to...
psychology or...
Psychology or spot hidden, or like anything that might...
Spot hidden.
My psychology is so bad, I'd love to do a spot hidden.
The same, I think.
Ooh, I got exactly my spot hidden, 60 out of 60.
So you see, I think what you saw before, you see a glint of a necklace and a sort of a gleaming triangle shape.
Now,
just before it's sort of tucked back into the linen suit.
I haven't seen anything like that in the notebook, have I? We talked about it before. We talked about Blackwood's necklace.
Well,
I was going to ask something sort of similar, like whether it was a bit cheeky to ask if I've ever seen something like that before anywhere. I don't know whether that would be a no roll, like a hard education roll or something. But I mean, that's up to you.
Well, I guess you could both do me. Either a history or an occult roll. I'm thinking.
I could give you a history.
My history and occult are nothing. There's no point me rolling those.
I mean, you can pitch me something else.
Could I pitch you for an extreme education roll? That would be easier for me to pass than. As in, like, I might have read about it somewhere.
Yeah. Extreme. Then
As Dom's just.
I've rolled a 21 on my history of 20, so I'm going to spend a point of luck.
Spend
excellent.
I have. Well, I'm not going to. I would need to spend more luck than that, so I'm not going to.
Okay.
Because you're about to.
So you, Quincy, you do see that gleam, and you sort of feel this sort of pull. This sort of. There's something there, but you can't make head nor tail of it, and it's all in the moment. But Edward, Ed, you see very clearly this sort of a green sheen, sort of glint in amongst this upside down triangle, and you're reminded immediately of the well, I mean, what were they called initially? The Illuminati of...
Oh yeah.
Was it Bavaria? The Bavarian Illuminati or something like that? Like, and you remember reading about this, like, bizarre cult where it was very like the KKK, they'd all call themselves Grand Wizards and Dragons, and it was basically like a D&D group for losers who had a shitload of money.
Theosophists.
But
was it like the Rosicrucians? Was it?
Yeah, the Opus Dei, the Rosicrucians.
Not quite that far back.
Maybe not that.
Getting a little bit Da Vinci Code on it.
Foucault's pendulum.
Well, yeah, the original and best Da Vinci Code.
But here's what you see.
Oh shit! The bed.
And there is something.
And if there's one thing that Beverley Jack Carstairs hasn't seen, is a sort of dense pewter triangle with flame-like striations surrounding a green eye inset in the center. The three borders are filigree in their sculpting on a simple chain.
Something deeply...
And quite worryingly, it says handout 22, and we definitely haven't had 21 fucking handouts.
Where were the 21? Oh God, we're going to die. Oh God, we're going to die.
Yeah. We pissed off John Thunder, and that was that.
Something deeply reptilian about that eye in the middle, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Almost like there's a flaming...
It's a three-lobed pupil.
What, are you zooming in on
Click on it. Click on it.
Yeah.
God, get it off.
But not three-lobed. not three-lobed in the way Niall Arthur, the Hunter of the Darkness.
Dominic, join me, Dominic. We'll rule over these petty fools, the apes.
Oh, it's really creepy. It is like that. It's very Eye of...
Dom, are you okay, Dom?
It seemed like someone was whispering to you there.
Eye of Zoron.
It's okay, it's all right. Calm down, Dom. Calm down, it's okay.
Come on, Sauron or Sauron? Let's just have this out now.
Oh, Sauron. But what's the name for the giant lizard?
Sauropod.
Yeah, the Eye of Sauropod.
The Eye of Diplodocus.
As a teenager, I always said Sauron, but obviously...
Well, I always said Sauropod, but I always assumed it was Sauron, but that's because I assume things.
Sauron. Well, I suppose
Sauron.
it would be...
Sauron makes more sense.
I like the way the Germans say it.
It's Sauron.
There's a Blind Guardian song about Lord of the Rings where they do an introduction and it's all in German. He goes, Sauron, Sauron.
But anyway...
Sauron.
Well, I'm going to park the car.
Let's say that, Jack is just arrived back, sort of screeched up, a shower of sand in a sort of handbrake turn. I'm making you sound cooler than you...
Fill her up, Iggy Pop.
Here he is, Iggy Pop. And look, the other two of you are right there. Reverend Osteen is still by the entrance to the tent, sort of with his arms up. He's handed you one of these jerry cans, and he's sort of going back behind the stage for another.
I get out and I look at the plain before me, stretching away from the camp, and I just say,
"Yeah,
perfect spot for donuts." Damn.
Well, do me another spot hidden since you're looking at the middle distance.
But yeah, as I'm there, is this a pushed roll? Wait a second.
Yeah.
As I'm about to, I've got one foot open. I'm leaning on the cab, a little bit like Kevin Bacon in Tremors in that moment, but kind of better built.
Classic.
And similarly silly hat.
Bacon.
Yeah, Hench Bacon. Great character name.
Hench Bacon.
I think probably my next teeth character should be called Hench Bacon.
Yeah. Almost certain.
His weakness, of course, is Hogman. Or hers perhaps. But anyway, I'm stood there, but I'm about to look, and then I think, hang on a second, don't we have some binoculars in the back?
And do you?
A luck
Is that a
roll,
luck?
or
I
do
think
we-
that's a
or do
group
we
luck
have-
roll, right? Like, see if you have the equipment that you're looking for.
Did we grab...
That's what we did for the spare tyre, so I feel like...
No!
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold the fucking phone. I think in the first episode, I said I had binoculars, didn't I?
You may well have done. I can't remember that. And I listened to it quite recently, but I...
Group luck bonus? Group luck bonus.
Group luck bonus?
Luck with a bonus? On the basis...
If you listen, Dom, if you're certain...
I think a group luck roll is fair because we left some things in the van.
Oh, yes, of course, it's not our car. Yeah, shit.
No.
Fair.
So I think a group luck roll is probably fair.
With a bonus guy, right?
I'll give you a bonus, but...
So I'm 55.
70. I'm 69.
61.
So it's me, unfortunately. Sorry. I'm rolling with a bonus. Do we have binoculars? Is it going to help us anyway? I've rolled a 49 on my 55.
Everyone's happy. And I scrabble around on the back, and I just when I'm about to give up, I see this just slipped down the side, and I grab the binocs.
The bins.
And they're that new kind, which is just like they've got a single viewing lens.
Oh, I see.
And whenever you look out, you always see a speeder just kind of dashing across.
You sure it's not one of those ones that you...
With a couple of droids in.
You press a button and it shows you different slides, like when you're a kid.
Yeah. Dinosaurs. Mygo. Azathoth.
Well, it wasn't just dinosaurs, there was all sorts you could get.
What's it called? Like a Dynaviewer. A Dynaviewer?
Oh, yeah, any kind. All
I
sorts
think it
of
might be
pictures.
called a Dynaviewer. Anyway.
Yeah. Dynaviewer, as in dynamic, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's in DY and A.
That makes sense.
Something like that.
Dynaviewer.
Anyway.
Something like that.
Anyway.
But anyway, I'm looking through perfectly ordinary. Those aren't the droids I'm looking for anyway.
No.
So
Alec McGuinness is
I put them
fine.
up to my eyes. I feel the cool touch of shoe polish on my sunken eye sockets.
You turn to them with big black marks around your eyes.
Eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend some luck here, guys, because I'm sick and fucking tired of failing fucking things. It's another 5 luck, but I'm going to do it.
Fair. So you succeed on
35. I'm going to do it.
Spot hidden.
I'm going to do it. Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Although, if that was... Hang on, did that count as a push? In which case I can't.
I wasn't counting it as a push.
Nice, okay, good. You're a generous man. And
so that's fine.
That clearly means you're going to kill me very, very soon.
But I will kill you immediately. But I'll tell you what you see. You see, between you and the town...
But you see a series of what looks like vehicles, but they seem to be sort of strangely shaped. Like you think maybe spiked, but maybe shifting, because the heat haze makes it really hard to focus, but they look like the wrong shapes. But I think with your success, you manage to focus in. You find a sort of tunnel through the haze, through the shimmer. You focus on the sheen of the nearest windscreen of the closest car to you. You see this sort of pale point in the black, this face. There's this sort of hairless head with a shining, sort of what looks like a gleaming third eye through the forehead, like a bolt straight through, and these sort of black eyes staring back at you. And you just you see this dead-eyed figure just revving the engine. And the impression you get just in this glimpse through the window is this sense of just pure hatred. That's the only thing you feel. And as the heat haze and the sort of the clouds of the sand obscure your vision again, you realise there's a line of these vehicles now between you and the town.
I look back and again it's that vertiginous low camera shot, isn't it? Mm-hmm. As the binoculars come down and the black rings of the shoe polish are revealed.
You get that dolly zoom.
And my face has gone very pale. Obviously there's no shoe polish. The dolly zoom, I lower it, and did you say that he had a bolt through his...
You see a glint of light, and as you see this face, it looks like there's a cattle bolt through someone's head, basically, and they're just staring into your soul.
A cattle bolt.
It looks like it's a moment, but it looks to you very much like someone has a bolt through their entire head.
I'm turning to the and I get as far as saying, "There's someone coming," and then I look back, but not with the binoculars, and I feel like I'm just sort of frozen there, in a moment of fear.
Yeah. So the other two of you hear this from Jack. There's someone coming, and he's staring out, sort of wide-eyed towards the town. How do you respond?
Well, I'm filling up the tank as fast as I can.
And I go and get. I think I've probably got the map out, the A to Z, and I've laid it out on the bonnet. And I'm like, so where's this red route you were saying, the red road?
Oh yeah, and he comes over to you and he says, "Well, it's straight out the other side of town, the other way." And he sort of draws a straight line from where you are all the way to the other way. So, in a sense, I can send you the map again, but it's basically...
No, what I do is I memorise it perfectly, so we don't need to look at the maps. It's all in my head. Perfect. It's fine.
It's all in your head. Yeah. That's a relief.
Yeah.
But it... it's straight out the other side of town. You see that there's a gap on the other side of the main road. There's a gap, and it just leads out into the desert, and that's where he's saying the red road is. And he says,
but there's no road.
Red road's the only way to go. You'll join up with the highway later on, but the red road's the only way out of town at this stage.
What kind of later on? You mean like...
well, as in
5 minutes,
30, 40 miles down the road.
Well, it's not so bad.
Oh, that's not so bad.
But
I can only advise you to go that
Mr.
way.
Lafitte, Mr. Mooney, I'm sorry, we've got company.
We gotta move. Can I tell how, like, this is 1970s, the gas gauge, the engine shouldn't have to be on. As soon as it fills up, can we have a look and see how...
It's about halfway full now, I'd say.
Tank is.
Where it was like a fifth full before. You can all now hear the engines getting louder.
What do you reckon, lads?
We have 2 shotguns, right?
You've got 2 shotguns.
Right? The one that's currently in Ed Mooney's hand, and the other one's in the back, right?
What was your shotgun? Was it like it's just a standard shotgun, like getting rid of critters?
The skeet gun is a single barrel.
Yeah.
I don't know what. So the one that we got.
The one that you got from the garage is double barreled.
Classic double, and that's the one I think you've got.
You have both of them, but I'm not sure who has.
The shotgun that I picked up was from the back seat, which was ours. So the other one is in the front seat, I think.
Yeah.
Which is the double barrel. So I think I pick it up.
Having poured one jerry can into the tank, I'm just going to turn to the Reverend and say, I'm going to pull some money out of my wallet, whatever I have, shove it at him and say, we'll just take this second can with us, if that's all right with you, and shove it on the back.
Oh, yes. The church roof is always in need of repairs. He laughs hard.
We've got to go.
Hey, take more. I'll just give him my whole wallet.
We've got to go.
Yeah, you got to go.
And I hop in. Has anyone got a really good drive skill, or is everyone's...
Me.
I'm 50%.
Drive 60.
Oh, hey, okay, now we're talking.
Carstairs, I can't trust my peripheral visions.
If anything happens to me, you're going to have to take over.
I'll ride shotgun.
So as you shift over, and I assume sort of pedal to the metal, shoot off.
All I say is, I think he's got a bolt through his head. I don't want to think about it.
All you hear from the Reverend is, oh, you off to meet Seth? Well, all right then. Good luck to you. And he sort of slaps the car.
Who's Seth?
Who the fuck is Seth?
You'll find out soon enough. He slaps your car on the arse.
Why did he let us go? I don't understand.
Say hello to her for me.
I think I heard a woman's voice, I say, over the roar of the engine. I think I heard a woman's voice. Did you hear that?
Nope.
Someone whispering.
That's tinnitus.
I don't know anyone called tinnitus. Wait, no, tinnitus. No, it's not. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can you see them? Here, and I scrabble around on the front seat, driving along, slipping into third.
So as you're driving, you all now see this sort of slight wall of like vehicles. They sort of come out front and sort of park up, and they seem to be giving you a way through back to the town, the way you came.
Is that the way we have to go?
Well, on the map, I mean, this is something for Mooney, but on the map he pointed out that you basically had to cross straight back over through the town, through the high road, through the main road.
Onto Main Street.
And out the same way the other side, and that would be the red road. And as you sort of approach the town, they sort of seem to shape themselves in a convoy to let you through.
So there's the pit road we could take, right? The Steel Road pit road thing, but that seems to go to a dead end. And Hackett Road, we just don't know where it is.
I think we just take the route that he told us to take. Which Edward...
Do we? I guess that's what we're saying. Do we go that way? I don't understand. What did he say? I didn't hear it.
He said we got to take the red route, but I'm very aware this scenario is called Highway of Blood.
Sorry, what's that? Sorry, I
don't know.
Let me get into
Okay,
hey, say that again.
Let's put that radio station on.
I think you just spoke my trick here. Highway of what? The scenario. What are you talking about? The scenario?
I can't turn this goddamn radio station off. I can't get the radio off. Why won't it go off? I don't understand. Which way do you want me to go? Mooney, which way do you want me to go?
This way, straight across.
I start to slow down.
If we want to take the red route, we got to go over town, and then we got to go that a ways.
Have you seen them? Look at them. Look in the binoculars. Look.
I turn around in the seat with the binoculars, probably still around Carstairs' neck, so I'm sort of yanking him around.
No, get down and get.
Peer back through the rear mirror, the rear window.
They're not behind us; they're ahead of us. That's the point, right?
Oh shit!
I think they parted to let us through, have they?
Yeah, they basically parted to let you through. So unless you go a different way, your route is clear.
So they see me as we drive past. I'm just like this out the window.
Well, I don't think we've quite. Come on, that could be them shooting the fuck out of us. So
so I'm
assuming we're not. I'm not going to drive through them yet. But so I'm slowing back down.
Maybe we can. I think Danann's just gone on for a cigarette, so I think maybe we can afford ourselves a little meta pause in proceedings, so we don't have to worry about where we physically are. So the car is not moving anymore. We've paused.
Well, second keeper of the Lafitte law. Yes, I'm excited.
Because otherwise we're going to get into a situation where we have a conversation and then by that point we've driven off a fucking cliff.
That's what he does to us all the time. He'll throw a 9-year-old in a minute.
Cigarette. So, basically, it seems to me that if we want to... There he is. If we want to drive anywhere, we have to go past all these other people, right? That's
if we take the red route. But couldn't we turn around and go straight down into the wilds?
You could. The only route you know that would lead to is the bridge and the canyon.
Oh, back to that. But that's not the red route.
That's not the red route. That's not the way he's told you is the only way out.
And so the red route...
Red route is, so you'd go past Hackett and Sons Beef Company, down Hackett Road, in that direction, to the right on the map that you've been given.
Yeah.
And it would end up in...
If he'd wanted us to stay, then why would he even have offered us gas?
I think this is all part of it, right? It's called the Red Route, right? Red Road. So it's all part of it.
But we don't know that.
So we leave. No, Meta. We leave. We're the fox. They're the hounds and the riders. That's what it feels like to me. Meta. It's all part of a ritual, and and if they get us, they get fucking high on that, and if they don't, we'll probably die anyway. But that's all part of the thrill. But outside of the meta, there is no outside of the meta. Inside the meta, still, in terms of survival chances, back out through town seems absurd. Back behind us seems absurd. This is the only way to go, right?
Well, what I'll say to help you with this decision is, as you're idling, and you're going slowly at this point, I'll take it for granted. They seem to have...
Well, I think I pull up to a stop.
They seem... that's fair. So you've pulled up into a stop. You're in the desert. Behind you are the tents. In front of you on the left, you've got that little wooden white church. But basically directly in front of you, you've got the town and this... what is now a horseshoe of vehicles with a gap in the middle, who seem to be... the implication is they're sort of saying, come in... come between us.
Where did I think I heard... Where the direction that I heard the voices from was the other side of the camp, right? The woman's voice.
That was the opposite side, yeah.
Yeah, so the Hackett Road that leads to a dead end, essentially.
Well, a dead end as far as you're aware, yeah.
I turn to the two of them and I say, what if there are people in there? What if the Millers are in there, or people like the Millers?
Where?
People have gone missing. Back in those tents. That guy was lying, right? He was lying. I saw something, something, and I'm a mess when I say it.
The Millers...
I hate to say it, but if the radiation is as high as these readings are saying, then everyone in this town is dying.
But they're not dead, right? I mean, look, he looked hale and hearty, except for his face was crazy. What makes a man's face look like that? He looked like some kind of, I don't know, fucking weird English pot had been broken a dozen times and stuck back together.
Ed, radiation acts in strange ways. Sometimes it manifests itself and it eats away at you, a tumor inside you that you don't even know you're sick until you 2 days from death's door. It doesn't always manifest itself in sickness that...
You end up in a hospital. You do, but I mean, look at him. He looked like he could have picked me up and thrown me across the room. He looked twice my age.
All I know is the Miller's license plate is hanging up in their bar. And I don't think it was a donation.
All right. You two call it.
And you just hear a... and another. And you see out of the corner of your eye to the right, in the distance, on the old windmill, you see these two, which you passed earlier before you were interrupted by Jacob. You see these two sort of spots of flame go up and linger.
Oh, shit.
Is that it? Do you think that's a signal flare, or...?
I think those... It all makes sense, Carstairs. I don't know where I've had this thought from. It just came to me just now, but I suddenly feel like a fox in a hunt.
Holy shit.
And those license plates, they're trophies, right? They're trophies, right?
They're fucking trophies, right?
I slip into first and I start driving.
Well, we gotta get out of here.
Thank God there's no license plate on this fucking car.
I pick up the spare shotgun. I am no grey shakes with a shotgun, but I pick it up and I do what I've seen them do in the old cowboy movies, and I pick the butt of it and I smash out the back window of the car.
Oh, and then as soon as you do that, I turn around and go, Lafitte, you got that spare thing of gas there?
Sure I do.
I think we need to leave a trail of destruction.
I think maybe
I light a cigarette.
I think maybe we want to hang on to the gas, no?
I don't want those cunts following us anywhere. I want them, if they're going to follow us, they're going to burn for it.
Well, yes.
Whatever you're going to do it fast, because we're coming up to them.
I think they're gonna let us go past and then chase us. That's the feeling I'm getting.
Yeah, so I say pour out some of the gas, and then as soon as they're on the trail, poof, we send them to Kingdom Come.
We don't want them to see us do it.
Yeah, smart.
I start to circle to buy time.
Do some donuts.
Love it.
You want me to do a drive roll?
No, I'll give you the donuts.
That's brilliant, actually, because there'll be this big wall of dust. It'll occlude us.
And then we just want to...
So, as you do the donuts, is there something the other two are doing? Or...
Yeah, I think they're discussing.
So, again...
It's just disgusting.
What is it? I do something with the gas now, or a bit later?
Once we're going, you start pouring the gas out behind us, so that when they follow, we just throw a cigarette out, and they'll be caught in the fire. That's my thinking.
Okay, yeah. Dan isn't convinced that will work, but
well,
neither am I.
Do you want to? You could give a look in the rearview mirror
line of
if
fire
you want.
they could easily drive around the side of.
But what I'm saying is that if we dump it out and they're already driving across it, that's when we throw the cigarette.
You might get a couple of them.
Might get one or two.
A couple of outriders.
Okay, worth a try.
And just maths-wise, because obviously that's our strong suit, the three of us.
Yeah.
We had half a tank. We've got to get 50 miles. And he says, if we trust him, which we don't, but it's one of those things. We're like, yeah, you might get to the cover of the woods, little fox. So I think he's just doing the math, where he's going, I've got half a can of petrol, half a tank.
And equally, anyone who's unsure about the theory of pouring gasoline out the window and lighting it could do me a rear view window check. A sort of spot.
We aren't past them yet. So.
No, but when you do go past them, I'm assuming you will. But you may not.
Advantage of.
Yeah.
Essentially, what I'm asking you, Keeper of the Texas wildfire, is we got 50. If we got 50 miles worth,
we should like half a tank.
Yes,
would be like loads. Yeah. Like you can drive.
You've got enough to get free of this place, basically.
Like I know in a modern car, in a small car, you get a couple hundred miles out of it.
We don't know how. Yeah, I mean, we don't know how I don't want to waste this whole second can of gas, but I'm willing to experiment with this plan.
I yell to Quincy as I straighten up out of the second donut, which is coincidentally formed an Ouroboros.
Oh, yeah.
Of two circles interjoining, like some kind of strange imitation.
You hear the echo of a man with a Limerick accent sort of pulling you up on your driving skills. But
call that a donut, boy. Limerick G-Funk style. Blast this one out in your car.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
And I say, Quincy, the math doesn't lie. We got enough to get out.
Yeah, let's go.
I want to keep a backup, but we got to try something. And the stats never lie. You got to do something that surprises them from the off.
You got to do something the keeper will struggle to deal with on the fly. And just give you what you want.
Big time.
What he said. Damn straight, Mooney. Damn straight.
Gotta surprise me.
You ready?
Drive.
So
he says, picking up a Texas accent. He didn't. And I smack it into third.
Amazing. And are you driving into the sort of the apex of the horseshoe? Are you driving into the gap they've given you, basically?
I think so.
I'm taking the gap.
Yeah.
Draw them.
Great.
And then I scream, yeah!